Welcome to the Royal Road School of Carmelite Prayer. We are currently studying an article taken from the Carmel Clarion, the link is below, on Teresian Prayer. And so today we're going to begin looking at Teresa's experience of prayer. So we all know that knowledge of our Holy Mother's experience is necessary if we are to understand Teresa's word, her message. This is because experience is the source of Teresa's knowledge, because in her experience, she saw the fundamental elements of Christian life. She thought about this and reflected on it to unearth these ways along which the history of salvation advances in the loving relationship of each one of us with God. So a few words suffice to outline this experience in a schematic way to help us to get inside Teresa's word and message. There are three periods apparent in the development of St. Teresa's prayer. The first period was easy and spontaneous prayer. Teresa took to prayer. The second period was more difficult. It was testing prayer, which lasted from her adolescent crisis, which was brought on by the death of her mother, up to the definitive conversion which occurred in 1554. The difficulty Teresa experienced had a twofold source. On the one hand, her inability for discursive reflection, that means methodical or analytical reflection, along with thoughts that ran completely wild. And on the other hand, Teresa's resistance to embarking on the way of a wholehearted love and the contradictions in her lifestyle. In speaking of this time, Teresa relates, "It seems I desired to harmonize two opposites, the spiritual life and the worldly pleasures." More acutely and as incisively, Teresa says, "To practice prayer and to live for my own pleasures." Here was a real inner drama for Teresa that made her live torn between God and creatures. She confesses, "I really just don't know how I was able to suffer it for even a month, let alone so many years." So in the end, what Teresa did was she simply chose to give up prayer for a year or so. Afterwards, she described this abandonment of prayer as the greatest temptation I had and the greatest evil. She was in a moral rut. "The time in which I was without prayer, my life was much worse. What I call a true fall is abhorrence of the path by which one gained so much good." Amen. So we are looking at the path that Teresa of Avila took to develop her way of prayer. And in the next talk, we're going to see what happened to Teresa after her true conversion in 1554. Thank you so much for following along. May God bless you and yours. Amen.